Welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments during the show, go and leave an open mic using the WDBO app. You can also check out the website over at refreshcomputers.net or stop in at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're listening to our show here on Saturday, it means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. today. And now, the guys themselves, David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg. And thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. Today we're going to talk a lot about Microsoft again, because they're in the news. Bill Gates just announcing a week or so ago that, oh, wait a minute, that climate change thing, maybe not so much, but we're going to talk about the technology aspect though of Microsoft, which Adam, you have a bunch of show notes here, and it looks very interesting as I'm going through them. But I wanted to hone in on one in particular, and that is Microsoft and what they do with BitLocker.
Yes.
And what BitLocker is. Can you explain what BitLocker is and how it integrates with Windows? And there's a big issue with it right now going on, and so we will get into that. But first, let the folks know just what is BitLocker, because I would guess most people don't even know what it is.
No.
It's even part of their operating system, but it's a very important part.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't know what BitLocker is, and it's a nice feature to have. It's a great security feature that basically it locks down your files.
It's built into Windows.
Exactly. It's built into Windows. I believe with Windows 11 Pro, you get BitLocker. On Windows 11 Home, you get device encryption. They're kind of the same thing hand in hand, but BitLocker is the one that is causing a lot of trouble right now. Basically, what your computer has is what's called a key that every time you turn on the computer, it loads a file. It knows it needs to use this key to access your files because they're locked. That's what it's for, is the key is for that lock.
So they're locked by default because if somebody gets a hold of your device, or if somebody tries to hack your device.
Take the hard drive and run with your files, anything like that. BitLocker locks down the files, and when that drive is loaded again, the first thing that comes up is, please enter your BitLocker encryption key, which is stored in your Microsoft account for any user that sets up the Microsoft account on it.
But you don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that when they first turn on their computer, typically. But if somebody takes a hard drive out of the computer, put it in another computer, say,
that's when you're going to get the device trip.
Because the hard drive knows it's not in the computer that it was in.
Yeah, the hard drive, it pays attention to hardware IDs of your motherboard, the processor. It knows when there's a hardware level change. Okay,
so it IDs with other components in the computer, specifically, or most importantly, the motherboard of the computer. So because all motherboards today have an electronic serial number. And so it must read that, right? And so it knows that it's associated with that already, and that's why it doesn't bother you at all during normal circumstances. You don't even know it's working when you turn on your computer. And so this BitLocker is an enhanced tool. So basically, like I was saying, if you take the hard drive out, put it in another machine, you're not going to be able to access those files.
Unless you have the key.
And
that's the important thing to know.
Who has the key? Who knows what the key is?
Exactly. Whenever you go through your settings and you enable device encryption, when you enable BitLocker, it will go through, it encrypts, and then if you have a Microsoft account linked to your computer already, it'll just save the key to your account. So it's easy to find that way. But the problem right now is Microsoft is actually starting to enable BitLocker by default.
Okay, so by default it's not enabled.
On the newer installations, it is now.
It is?
It is, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's actually causing a lot of headache, and I've had a couple situations in our store where I've had a customer come in, the BitLocker screen's up, they've never seen it before, and they don't have a Microsoft account, they don't have any account that could have saved that key, because when it's enabled by default on this very new installation, it's not even prompting you that you have to sign in with a Microsoft account to save that key. So a lot of people, I've had actually some people lose data because of just an arbitrary setting that got enabled by default.
So what can be done to prevent an issue with BitLocker then? So first of all, you said it's on the latest version of Windows 11.
Yes, 25H2.
Okay, so that latest version, it's enabled automatically.
That's right.
So in other words, when you're prompted to do your Windows update, you can read all the stuff it's going to do, but most people just bypass it, right? And they say, okay, update.
Yep.
And switches 25H2, which most people may have already updated to. They've turned on BitLocker and they didn't know it.
That's right. And with BitLocker being enabled without that Microsoft account, it's pretty much just you locked your storage unit and you threw the keys into a storm drain. That's the best explanation I can give it, because if with that lock you're pretty much stuck. You cannot get past that lock to get past or into the files. And BitLocker encryption is so tough. I think there was a simulation ran that
it's like iCloud lock.
It is,
right, with the iPhone or something. It's like
iCloud's a step further, where they'll lock down hardware fully if they have to, where it's not even usable. But with this, you can still wipe it. You can install new Windows over it.
Okay, so you could lose your data because if you don't have your BitLocker key.
But you don't lose the device.
But you don't lose the device. You can just wipe the hard drive.
Yeah.
You'd have to literally wipe the hard drive, right? And reinstall Windows. That's
now,
the only way.
The main thing that's really, really worrying with this is I've been seeing a lot of issues lately come up, actually, and I've seen Microsoft actually acknowledge that a bug exists actually for business users of Windows.
Because Windows Pro.
With Windows 11 Pro, with BitLocker, where even just the latest preview update, the latest feature update for Windows 11. So if you're on 25H2, there's a little feature update that's done on that.
Right.
And even that little update is causing the entire system to lock down now. Like Windows Update itself is causing Windows to lock because it thinks that there was some hardware change.
Oh, because of BitLocker.
Exactly.
Yeah, because BitLocker detected a change.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have a Microsoft account and you're running Windows, get one.
Yeah.
Just get one.
It's free. You can go onto Microsoft's website. You got whatever email address, you make a password, that's it. You don't have to pay for an account.
So this is a lesson learned. And if you need help creating a Microsoft account, we have that free tech support hotline. Yep. 407-478-8200. I encourage you to give us a call. We'll tell you how to do it over the phone. It's not going to cost you anything. And it can help prevent headaches down the road by having the Microsoft account. So basically having to log in to your computer. I mean, you can set it up where you don't have to log in. It automatically logs in your Microsoft account, right?
Right.
And so you don't have to remember all that login information.
Now, once you log it in on Windows once, it pretty much stops asking for it at all. I can't remember the last time my personal computer asked me for my login details for Microsoft.
So if BitLocker shut down your computer by accident, like it's happening now with this 25H2 update, and you have a Microsoft account, you're able to recover the key.
Right. You can go onto your phone, for example, log into Microsoft's website there, and there's actually an area for devices, and you'll see your computer right there. You'll see the name of it, and then you can hit View Encryption Key. That's all it takes to pull it up. The only thing is it's, I believe, 36 numbers long. So so you have to kind of. It's a bit to type in.
It's not a copy and paste.
No, it's not a copy and paste. You gotta type it in one number at a time. But I think I remember looking at a simulation that said it would take, I think upwards of about 2 billion years to brute force a BitLocker key, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's not like you're gonna guess it to get in, and it's not a key that you set yourself either.
Right.
It's just randomly generated numbers.
It's like a product key sticker on the front of your old Windows 98 CD.
Exactly.
Right. So, yeah, folks, that's something to remember now. If you've upgraded to Windows 11, hopefully you have by now because Windows 10 is no longer getting the security updates. And, you're very vulnerable if you're connected to the Internet. I can't stress that enough. Don't think for a second that you're not because you are. And, if you treasure your data, if you treasure your photos, your videos, you don't want those to get encrypted by somebody hacking into your computer. If you treasure the money you have in your bank account, don't use a Windows 10 computer today, while you're connected to the Internet.
That's what I was going to say, at least connected to the Internet.
So, and so if you're, upgraded, if you need help upgrading to Windows 11, again, we're a phone call away. You have to have compatible equipment to do that. And if you don't, we have very reasonably priced computers and laptops at Refresh Computers that with Windows 11 is starting at $200, maybe mid 250s range, which will work for just about 99% of us or 95% of us, But, if you're having an issue with this 25H2 update, was it the 25H2 update again, is if you upgraded your computer, if you got prompted, there's a Windows update, and you said yes within the last how long, Adam? Weeks?
I think 3 weeks to a month. This bug has been out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you have a Microsoft account, great, you're still okay.
Yeah.
But if not, you should just go ahead and create one anyway. You're going to save yourself a lot of headaches on down the road, and it makes it safer for your computer, honestly, because you can put a password so people can't get in and do stuff like that. So other things in the news with Microsoft going on is they just spent $60 billion in new data centers for AI.
Amid this huge chip shortage we have right now.
No, it's we talked a lot last week or the week before last, I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about the chip shortage for, memory, solid state drives, thumb drives, all these things the prices are going through the roof right now.
Yeah.
And they're just, every day you see the price tick up, but we're seeing it, and so it's just something, and what's feeding the price increase are companies like Microsoft investing all this money in data centers that require all these chips, that they need for these data centers, and they're just sucking up all the available inventory.
Yeah. You've got chip shortages that are going on right now. I know that with the expansion of AI, we're starting to look at power concerns, actually. As the power grid is being pulled more and more from these data centers that are pulling, megawatts of energy.
Some of these data centers take the power of a small city.
Yeah. In one building.
No, and it's why we're starting to see some of this new investment into the miniature nuclear reactors that you've seen coming up across Europe. You're starting to see talks of that possibly moving into the United States because of the need.
I haven't heard of those. I have to check
all this extra power. It's another Elon Musk joint, if you will.
Is it really? Of course.
Elon Musk is very big into these new miniature nuclear plants that are supposed to be more efficient, more affordable, and when the time does come to decommission them, much easier to decommission and recycle. So it's a concept that's coming that I think we'll probably see more of very soon.
That's crazy.
I'm excited for that. I've always been a fan and just pusher for nuclear energy.
Nuclear gets a bad rap. There were a lot of issues that happened previously, but overall, it's a very clean and safe option for a large amount of power as we have a growing community.
We do have a lot of tech now, too, that we did not have years ago when we were having just random meltdowns of some plants.
Yeah.
So, looking at it now, the tech we have, we got man on the moon with tech that feels like eons ago now from what we have.
Or did we? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
But we've got computers in our pockets.
That's a different podcast. That's a different podcast.
We've got computers everywhere. So, I think the future's bright with what we have going, but AI is really becoming something that is great to look at, but you got to look at the bubble it's starting to form.
And we have another minute. I want to talk about. Do you mind if I talk about your car for a second?
Yeah, go for it. I don't mind.
Because you were telling me some stuff I had no idea about. Adam has a Tesla, and a self-driving Tesla, and I honestly didn't even know they were full, like in production self-drive. The self-drive. I'm that's far behind with self-driving vehicles. I knew they were made. I knew they were possible, but I didn't know they were just mass-produced now, and you just get in one and go. And it's just insane. And then with the AI technology and some of the things that you were telling me about how your car is able to avoid
like a rear end collision that I almost had, right?
Rear end collisions. I mean, imagine you're driving down the road and somebody's just going a million miles an hour up behind you and you don't know it and they just slam into you because you're not typically paying attention. But with the self-driving cars, it knows that car is coming up behind you doing 120 miles an hour. Yeah. And it'll actually speed up, right, if there's room in front of it.
Mine, actually, it almost got clipped in the back bumper. I had it driving itself, and it moved itself for that car coming up. It really slammed the accelerator to move out of the way. And, there was almost maybe inches I could see on the screen because it shows a full visualization of everything.
Yeah.
I could see maybe mere inches of that car going from the right lane, swerving into mine across to the left to go flying by me. But if that hadn't have happened, I would have been pitted right there and into the side of I-4.
And I'm excited to hear more of Dave's reaction to this new technology that he hadn't heard of yet as far as self-driving cars, but also a little bit more on that AI bubble that we brought up as well. You've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Hey there, and welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. And you can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. And if you have any other comments during the show, go and leave an open mic using the WDBO app. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk. We have another interesting show today. We've been talking a lot about a thing called BitLocker that is embedded in Windows 11 and something that most people probably didn't even know they had, and that if you didn't update to your Windows 11, you get prompted, you're ready for a Windows update now or whatever, and you update, the latest update is automatically turning BitLocker on. It's by default, it's always been off. That's probably why you never heard of it before. But by turning it on, you're encrypting your files on your computer. And if you should ever need to get those files, maybe you have to change your computer, your hard drive is going bad, and you have to change hard drives, right, or something, then you would have to have this encryption key in order to do so. So it's very important. We had a really good discussion on this earlier. So if you missed it, go to our website at refreshcomputers.net and click on the podcast link, because this show turns into a podcast. So you can hear the whole show. It's about 40 minutes long, and you can get some really good information on the latest Windows update that's turning on this BitLocker, which is causing a lot of people, we're seeing in the store, a lot of issues. So if you have Windows 11 Pro and you're updating, go listen to, if you missed any of that, go to the website, refreshcomputers.net, click on podcast, and you can hear the show.
And while you're there, too, actually, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page, and we've got a newsletter there. You just enter in your email address and sign up. And that newsletter, you're going to be getting emails from us about our deals that we've got going on, some of the great deals that we've got.
Well, you know what? Yeah, we have thousands of people that sign up to get that newsletter.
Yep.
And what we typically do is we send every Monday morning at 7 a.m. It's timed. If you've signed up by just going to the bottom of any page and subscribing to our newsletter, if you sign up, you get that email, and it's a weekly deal. That's what we have going on special deals for that week, every week. Every Monday morning at 7 a.m., it arrives in your email. So, Thanksgiving's coming, which means Black Friday's coming. And yes, we are going to have Black Friday deals. And if you sign up for the newsletter, guess what? You're going to be one of the first ones to know about those Black Friday deals.
It's the insider email for a reason.
That's right. And we have, I know, we have to put together all these deals. We have to plan for Black Friday well in advance, as you can probably imagine. We have a huge wrap in the Orlando Sentinel with all of our Black Friday deals that comes out on the Thanksgiving Day. It's the biggest newspaper, volume-wise of the year. And, all the Black Friday deals that's in the newspaper there's still a lot of, printed. Guess what? We have the wrap that goes around all the Black Friday deals. So we're the first thing that you see. Yes, it's expensive advertising, but, it works. We've been doing that for years and years and years. But guess what? If you sign up for the newsletters, we're going to be, doing, it could be something from a stocking stuffer on up, and we'll be doing some periodic email blasts to like early Black Friday deals just for the people who've signed up for the newsletter. So again, to do that, go to refreshcomputers.net. At the bottom of any page, there's this simple place right there to put in your email address, and you can subscribe, and you'll get those emails. So, lots of good deals. So,
and the deals we have, I think we have them right now with desktops. We have them starting around for $300. That's a Windows 11 capable desktop. And I will tell you right now that those
$249.
$249, yes.
$249.99 is the starter Windows 11 desktop Pro with Windows 11 Pro.
And with that price, looking at that, you're getting a professionally refurbished business class computer.
Brand new solid state drive.
I stress so much it's business class.
Yes.
That's what makes it just a better machine. So
that's what makes Refresh Computer the best value in Central Florida. You've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Hey there, and welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's News and Talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments during the show, go ahead and leave an open mic inside the WDBO app. You can also check out the website over at refreshcomputers.net or stop in at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're listening to the show here on Saturday, it means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. today. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. In this segment, we're going to be talking a little bit about Gemini, which is Google's flagship AI, right?
Right.
And, we talked a few weeks ago, Adam, about Apple actually using Google's AI.
For Siri. Right.
And so that's full on. That's going on right now, right?
Apple is, they're set to license, I believe it was a 1.2 million parameter version of Gemini to train and power Siri that they're trying to release, I think next year, mid-next year.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I thought they were already testing it at least.
I think they're probably within testing stages by now, but as I've seen with some of these AI models that have been released, especially with Grok, I think it was about a half a year ago. If you push a model too soon, everything falls apart very fast.
So you got the top 3 AI models, right?
Right.
Gemini.
You've got Gemini, I think Grok right now, and I want to say Copilot,
but by Microsoft.
Yeah.
And can't forget ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, yep, one of the big names for it.
That's a big one too. And so, with all these companies spending, literally billions of dollars into this technology, Apple decided to, I think we'll just use Google's, right?
Yeah.
and because it just takes such a huge investment, and it's really weird. We talked several weeks ago about Apple doing this and how strange it was that Apple would, because Apple had never, you had a term for it. They would never use
their walled garden. That was a term.
Garden.
Yep.
Yeah, they would never use somebody else's technology in their devices. It was
Plus, Apple has always preached privacy. What happens on iPhone stays on iPhone. That's always what Apple has said. And, I've seen what Gemini is capable of. I have it integrated into my phone. If somebody texts me saying, hey, can we meet up tomorrow? And I'll open up that text. It's got auto-generated responses for me.
Yeah.
If I hit one of those, it'll create a calendar event for me. It can dig so much into my phone now. And it seems so counterintuitive to Apple's idea.
So for like Google, like if you have Gmail and stuff like that, and the Google Calendar, I've noticed things. I have emails. Like I make an airline reservation, right, and I get the confirmation in my email, and Google's AI, Gemini, takes that.
Already put it in your calendar.
Already puts it on my calendar because it noticed that, hey, there's somebody's, you bought a ticket on this day. I'll throw it on your calendar. So anybody who's done that has noticed that by now if you use Gmail.
Yeah.
Right?
And, it's funny that we're mentioning the whole calendar stuff right now because I remembered it was last week on our work email for the store, the entire store email. We got a spam message, a spam email that came into the inbox, deleted it, whatever.
Oh, we get a few of those.
Mine, with my work email linked to it, added an event on the 28th, actually, of that spam email trying to make a calendar event for it.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't even tell it to do this. It just appeared into my calendar. So, it's Gemini now being able to just almost do things autonomously for you. It's almost like having your own personal assistant.
Right. And again, Gemini is Google's AI, and it's integrated now in their Gmails and the calendar and the Chrome OS. Speaking of Chrome OS, a little teaser for next week's show. We're going to be talking a lot about different operating systems.
There's not just Windows or Apple computers out there.
No. We're going to be talking about the 4 or 5 different operating systems that, and Google with Chrome has fairly recently come out with one with a new type of Chrome. We're going to talk about next week. So stay tuned for that one. We don't want to get into it this week because we need some stuff to talk about next week too.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, can I make a counterpoint? So you were talking about how Apple usually likes to wall off everything, their walled garden approach to a lot of these kinds of programs. Stays on iPhone, happens on iPhone, that kind of programming.
Right.
But I would also argue that Apple's been very good of letting people get all the bugs out of something before they integrated it into their own features.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Apple's looking at more of this as a feature as opposed to a software standard. What do you think on that?
I mean, realistically, history shows that Apple does integrate bugs as features. I have seen them do, I think, 2 of them. I can't recall them off the top of my head, but I know that they've done it before. And it was more the thing of they see the bug, they see it or they pushed it to production already, they see it live, and they see millions of people online. Oh my God, I love this. I love that it's doing this. When to the developers, they're like, oh man, it's not even supposed to be doing that in the first place. So, I think Apple, honestly, they're looking at just a positivity out of it in the end of the day. They're not looking at it as we have bugs. They're looking at it as this is going to be a great thing to push us forward.
Right. And I think, again, like I said, they've let kind of Google already work this problem out on their Samsung device, on the Samsung devices they pushed out on the Google Pixel that's already used Gemini. And they're like, okay, Gemini looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's put it on Apple. Because we can't make something that's going to be at least as good, but better than that if we tried at this point.
And Apple's not even looking to they're not looking to take Gemini and slap a Siri sticker on it. They are taking this version of Gemini and they will transform it into Siri.
Yeah,
right.
They're making it their own.
Yeah. So, it's going to have a lot of Gemini's features. It's going to have a lot of Gemini's quirks, I'll say. But also, I think Apple's just they're going to see what happens in production with Gemini, I'd say in the next year up to mid-2026. And then I think we'll really see, are they comfortable enough to push it, or are they going to do maybe a beta branch that I've seen before? Yeah. And, I've seen Apple's beta testing go very good. I've seen it go very bad. I've seen, great things out of it. So
that's why it's beta.
Exactly. And you kind of, you acknowledge it rather than them just pushing it and it being on everybody's device.
Yeah.
So I've got to applaud them for that at least.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never would underestimate Tim Cook. I talked about him, last week, right? Yeah. And, at his predecessor, and he took over from Steve Jobs, and look what a job he's done.
Yeah.
So the guy's got a lot of gray matter up there, that's for sure.
You know what I want to see out of Apple though? I want to see more movement out of the Apple Vision Pro. I think that was actually a great idea of AR, augmented reality.
Yeah.
But
are you talking about the goggles?
The goggles, right.
Yeah.
But I just, there are some things with it that really are dissuading.
See, I never got into the goggles yet.
Yeah.
Maybe because of my age, I don't know.
See, I have a VR headset that has camera pass-through, so I can wear it and use it almost like an Apple Vision Pro, but the extra layers Apple has put on to where it is a wearable iPad almost.
But what is it now? What is Apple Vision Pro now?
It's still their AR headset that you wear. You've got basically an iPad screen. You can move around, open up apps, all through motion controls with your hands. Pinch and close your fingers.
So it's a
all of that.
headpiece.
Yeah.
You put it over your eyes.
Apple really, when they first released it, said, everybody's going to be wearing these. Nobody's going to be able to walk around without one of these because you've got everything on your head at all times. You can still see the outside world. And I believe there's a feature of it where it can actually project and show your face inside of the mask on the screen outside.
Oh no.
That's what freaked me out.
That's terrifying.
I saw that and I instantly thought of just the feeling of just those
So what do these sell for? I'm curious.
I don't remember the price, but I know it's heart stopping. I think it may be like $2,000 or something.
Sounds like you just see a bunch of like wee me's walking around with their digitized faces. I would. Oh no, that's a horror.
Can you actually wear these things and walk around? No.
That's what they advertise it as. They've got a battery pack you can wear, and I will tell you, I have not
through them and see.
Yeah, you can live your whole life with it. It's almost like AR glasses, like you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Imagine you've got a little screen that can just overlay in one of your lenses. That's Apple Vision, but your whole vision.
Oh man!
And you can move stuff. You can move it around with you. And I've seen people use it hilariously on like a subway before.
But you gotta look like a Borg, right, or something. Like, don't you look funky?
It's so obvious when you see somebody wearing one. I've gone to the Apple Store. I think like the main one over in California in Cupertino, and seeing people wear them, and seeing them, I have not seen a single person outside actually wearing one like Apple had designed and marketed it as.
Exactly.
No, I think that's where like the Meta Glass and things like that are really kind of taking advantage of that marketplace, because again, you're saying these are big and bulky, and again, you're digitizing an entire face on the other side of it, so people think that you're still a human. But you have Meta Glass, which is just a pair of glasses. It's a pair of Oakleys that you're walking around wearing, or Ray-Bans or whichever
Ray-Bans,
brand that they've associated
with the little camera on the side, right?
That's it.
Yeah,
and it's hardly noticeable anymore now that they've developed the technology so far.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing, is just, we're putting more and more technology into smaller and smaller places now. The fact that we can almost have a whole like augmented reality screen just in the lens of your glasses. Where do you think we're going to be in 10 years now from that? Because, we're designing processors, for example, that's made at like a nanometer level.
Yeah.
So if you think about that small now, what the future could hold for technology, I don't know what you and I could even think of.
Well, I mean, it can only, get so small, right?
Yeah.
Before, otherwise it's just something injectable, like.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
We're going to start getting to the idea of liquid hardware that you can inject it with electricity, and the liquid thinks now.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're talking about the glass here. You can replace your eye lens on your actual eyes. You can get those replaced now, much less with technology added that you'd be able to add that as a feature.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine that could be the next step for some of those kinds of programs.
And gives me those thoughts back to, I always hate to say the name Skynet.
Yeah.
Always makes you think of Skynet and just like almost like augmentation of your body with technology. And I think, Elon Musk, again, bring up his name, Neuralink. That's kind of what they're doing already, is putting computers into the humans.
It's already working, right?
And it is, yeah.
Man. Yeah, it's where they make a little incision and they actually attach this somewhere to your brain, right?
Yeah.
To the base of the brain stem to be able to reinvigorate certain nerve endings that allow people to move their arms, and it's impressive what they've been able to do with the program.
It is. And it's technology that in the past we dreamed of. We could only dream of. Look at have you guys seen the second Spider-Man movie? With Dr. Octopus.
Yep. I haven't seen that one. I saw the last Superman movie, wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But, with that Spider-Man movie, the second one with Tobey Maguire, Doc Ock in it, he had basically the same thing, a transmitter that went in his neck, and just, it was outside for him, and needles went in, and it looked very uncomfortable. Back then we were dreaming of this technology. And now it's here in front of us.
It's implanted.
It is.
It's not even bulging out of your neck.
Yeah, and we our show today, we're talking about AI, we're talking about BitLocker, but where technology is going, some people don't even know where it is now.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part, I think, with technology, with how fast it's moving now.
Like autonomous cars.
Yeah, autonomous cars. And, to touch a little bit on that, with Tesla, they're now designing their own new AI chip that is supposed to be...
The A15, right?
The AI5 is what they're calling it.
AI5, yeah.
And, they're boasting this 9 times increase in RAM and memory amounts. I think I saw metrics for like 20 and 50 times bandwidth and processing power. And this is a chip that they're saying will be used in robotics, self-driving vehicles, AI training. It's going to be our first general use AI chip.
Robotics too, the robots. They're coming.
The Optimus bots.
They're coming.
Yeah, at their shareholder event last night, they had Optimus dancing on stage.
That's right, and actually, part of Elon's deal to get him his $1 trillion was to produce so many robots, right? I forget how many, but
I think it was like 10,000 or
10,000
something. It wasn't impossible, but I mean, if you think 10,000 robots, you've got a little small army of robots right there.
10,000 robots, no big deal. Elon can figure that out.
Yeah.
I remember when my kids were boys, there was a toy called My Buddy, and then the song was My Buddy, and so it's like their buddy,
Yeah.
And so future kids are going to have these little robot buddies. My
robot, my robot.
And
goodness.
And see, that's the thing. We've got such a future with it now. We've got robots that can deliver food to your table. I've seen that at restaurants before.
Oh yeah, they're already doing that too. Hey folks, if you missed any of this interesting talk, or if you want to catch up on what we're talking about, go to the website refreshcomputers.net. Click on the podcast link there at the top of the page, and you can hear the show in its entirety. It usually comes out sometime in the afternoon on Saturdays after the show.
And we're not done yet. We've got more coming to you. So you've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Hey there, and welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. And you can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. You can also check out their website at refreshcomputers.net. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right, thanks, Greg. Thanks for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. I'm David Leavitt, the owner and founder of Refresh Computers, a 25-year-old plus company. It's soon to be 26 years old in January. So we're located 3.5 miles east of I-4 right there in Longwood. We have a huge selection of refurbished computers and refurbished laptops. Adam, we have more quantity and more variety than I think we've ever had right now, and the number and styles of laptops and quality refurbished laptops and desktop computers. And so go to the website, you can check it out, or better yet, come on by. We'd love to see you at 820 East State Road 434 right there in Longwood. But you can preview everything on the website, and we've always said that if you can see it on the website, it's in our store.
Exactly,
so
right.
The website inventory integrates with our point of sale system in the store. So when a computer is sold in the store, it automatically deducts a quantity of that computer, or if that's the last one, it takes it off the website. So you can come in the store, you can look at them, play with them, touch them, try them out, and all that. So it's a great way to buy a computer, and you have all that excellent help. Look at all the. We have over 1,000 5-star Google reviews. So and we get that way for a reason, and it's because we genuinely take care of our customers, and we sell a quality refurbished product, better than new. I always say that they're better than new. And we talked about the podcast where the show, you can hear the whole thing. So go to the website at refreshcomputers.net. Click on that podcast link and you hear this whole show. You can hear about all the cool stuff. We had a lot of cool conversations on today's show. If you missed it, you'll want to certainly catch the podcast version of the show. So, Adam, we have quality Windows 11 desktops and laptops, right? Windows 10 is, for all intents and purposes, pretty much gone, right?
Layman terms, I call it dead because it's not getting updates. To me, it's a dead operating system.
Now there is an option. You can pay Microsoft for a little bit of time, and you can you got a year.
It's a year, I think. Yeah,
like $30 to extend it, but kind of a waste of money in my opinion, unless you don't have a choice for whatever reason. Come on by, use that $30 towards something that's a good quality built machine there at Refresh Computers. We'd love to see you at the store.
Yeah. And a lot of our machines, too, are going to be like new, and they're going to give you the exact same experience as something brand new will be from a big box store. Because big box store, you go there, you spend $1,200, $1,300 on a brand new computer, and you get it out of the box and you use it. And sometimes those computers you can see anywhere. I've seen 2 to 8 years out of a consumer computer like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll argue that you get a better experience going with you guys because you don't have all the bloatware. You don't have all the extras that that HP or Dell or anybody is trying to sell you on when you buy a brand new computer from these box stores. It's a fresh install of Windows.
That's right. And no clerks.
No.
We don't clerk. We're all techs. Everybody at Refresh Computer is a technician.
Everybody there that you talk to that's trying to help you find the computer that's right for you is also going to have the know-how to answer pretty much almost any question you could throw at one of us.
We can do your data transfers. Bring in your old computer. Bring in your old laptop with you when you come in, and we can take the data off of that for a nominal fee and transfer it over to the computer you're buying in most cases while you're waiting.
Yeah, I had a customer just yesterday who brought in a computer that our store manager saw the label, our tag that was still on it. It was one of our old Refresh computers.
Like from 10 years ago.
From like 10 or 15 years ago. It was an old label on it. So these computers, they last.
They do. As I always said, is my favorite customers are the ones we see about every 6 or 7 or 8 years. So, hey, folks, that's all we're going to have time for today. We really had a great show. Again, I'll repeat, don't miss this show. If you did, go to the podcast, refreshcomputers.net, click on that podcast link and hear the show in its entirety. Sign up for the Refresh Computers insider deals at refreshcomputers.net at the bottom of every page. We'll be talking to you again next week about several different operating systems that are coming out. This is David Leavitt. Talk to you again next week.